Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked with Danny Allen. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked with Danny Allen.
Alright. Hello, everybody. What's going on? This is episode 19 of Gettin Geeked with your boy, your host, Danny Allen. It's me, guys. Hello. What a week. What a week. Oh man, the Halloween ends conversation was getting crazy. The Jamie Lee meltdown video I made. Wow, guys. Halloween fans, you guys are some of the most supportive people on YouTube, on TikTok. Ran up those numbers. We passed 40,000 views on that Jamie Lee, Daniel Harris video on TikTok. The segment on YouTube itself got 2.2K or something. And then the podcast itself actually got around 600 views, which is a lot for me because I just launched this podcast and it was getting 20, 30 views. So we are finally seeing some results. I appreciate everybody that has been watching and listening. If you can, hit that like button, subscribe. It really helps. And as soon as I reach 1,000 subscribers, and which I'm like 100 subscribers away from 1,000, and then I get 2,000 hours of watch time. I'm halfway there for the watch time. Then I can monetize the channel, and that's going to be super exciting because for you guys, I'm going to be able to do more live streams and take questions from you for the podcast live. I feel like there's an element of this podcast that is missing because I can't really have a live conversation with you guys. And I feel like if I had some super chats and I had a comment section going, we can actually have a full-blown conversation. It's not going to be just me throwing talking points at you guys, which is rad. This is why I do what I do. I want to talk about these topics. But to have that immediate response from you guys in the chat will be a lot better for the channel in the long run, because eventually I want to do this full time. I want to do a live stream 3 to 5 times a week starting out as soon as I can monetize the channel, as well as doing this podcast. So I'm just going to be growing everything exponentially in these coming months to the years. I've been doing this channel for 10 years and I haven't really done a podcast on it. So it was a way, because I was doing trailer reactions and I was doing trailer reviews, and then I was doing, every once in a while I was doing like movie news, but I didn't have a uniformed show where every week I would talk about all these topics and I'd run everything down. And then this podcast allows me to hit everything I need to do in 1 week, and then I can just once a week, and I cut up everything I need to do to launch it in individual segments. And then for you guys, if you want to hear something specific, you can go to individual video within my channel. So anyways, I just wanted to thank you guys for being so supportive. We are growing slowly but surely. Like, subscribe, follow, comment. You know the drill. So what is going on? Episode 19. What are we covering? Well, I ran down the Halloween discussion, a little recap. A lot of people were trying to defend Jamie Lee Curtis and her actions. And I discussed this in that video. People were saying, well, she doesn't know Daniel Harris and she doesn't know Scout Compton. She doesn't have to know them. They reminded her who they were, and she, instead of trying to just be nice and say, hey, that's cool, she wanted to be rude about it. That's end of conversation. She was just rude. She was just rude. Uncalled for. Okay. That was that video. This next topic is a follow-up. Now, if you remember correctly, I was reporting on the Power Rangers Cosmic Fury 30th anniversary special, we had somewhat of a cast confirmed. But now we have a still image from them on the set. And I'll put the picture up. We have Adam coming back as the Black Ranger. Well, it looks like he's got some kind of cosmic uniform on or something. In space vibes. I'll say that. Johnny Young Bosch. Is that how you say his name? Johnny Young Bosch? Sorry, my guy. I don't know how to say your name correctly. Johnny. I Shine. Where Giants Fall. You know, he's a great musician, artist. He also voices Ichigo in Bleach. And then he's also in Power Rangers. His arc, when he came back and he showed Carlos what it meant to be a Power Ranger, was minus all the JDF stuff. Adam's arc is probably the best arc in Power Rangers. And the fact that he's coming back for Cosmic Fury, that's my highlight of this photo. Now you have the other Rangers, obviously. Now, who's missing here? We already discussed why JDF and Austin St. John obviously aren't going to be in this reunion. So that's why they aren't pictured. But we don't have Kimberly back. Amy Jo Johnson. She's not back, but she's good friends with David Yost. So there's a reason why she's not back. And I don't think it's nefarious. I think she's directing right now, and she's not really in her acting space at this point. So if she wants to step back, that's cool. Cosmic Fury. We also had a look of the different, which iteration of it is going to be, and we have some suits got revealed. I think the suits look great. I'm not too picky. I don't like too flashy Power Ranger suits. I like the baseline kind of colors. If the masks get kind of crazy, it kind of takes me out of it. So these are fine. I'm curious to see how this Netflix iteration turns out, because they said it's like 10 episodes or something, and normally Power Rangers is they break those seasons into like 40 episodes or something crazy, because then they had the Super on there, and then it just extends the episodes. As far as the OG cast coming back, I'm just happy we're getting a bunch of the OGs back. I gave up the whole original lineup kind of a reunion, because obviously everybody's in different places in their lives. They're grown adults, and not all of them are acting like that anymore. So the cast that we are getting back, I am super hyped. What did you guys think about Power Rangers 30th anniversary cast photo reveal? Let me know in the comments section. Coming up next, we got a lot of topics today, guys. So I'm just gonna get to the main points. I'm not gonna meander. We're gonna get right to it. Now, one of the first topics I talked about on one of the earlier episodes was Tim Allen's coming back for the Santa Clauses for Disney Plus, and there was some fan nervousness, if I could say. They were worried. Where's Bernard? Where's Charlie? Where's what's going on? Where's the OG characters? They put out another trailer. Bernard's back. Our guy Charlie's back. I don't know if he's going to be in it a lot. I'm thinking Bernard will be in it more than Charlie, because it seems like they have a new family this time around, younger. And Charlie has his own family. And rumor is Tim Allen's character, he doesn't want his son to miss Christmas with his family. That's why Charlie isn't going to be the Santa Claus, which is a good story to tell. I feel like there's something there that they can do with it. Can they do it in like a 10 episode series? How many episodes is this thing? And should it have just been a movie? I'm curious to see, because the movies are just fine. They could have just done another Santa Claus movie. But we're getting a whole series. So I'm just happy. Charlie's back. Bernard's back. The OGs. Everybody's coming back that was in it before. I love that. I've said it before. I'll say it again. If you have the opportunity to bring everybody back, just to it. What do you guys think? The Santa Clauses? Are you happy Charlie and Bernard are coming back? Did you care? Were you like, who's Bernard? Who's Charlie? Are you new to this franchise? Do you care? Let me know in the comment section. Okay. This next corner, DC corner, right? DC news. We have a lot to cover this past week. It went down. Black Adam came out. Henry Cavill is announced as Superman again. Cameoed in Black Adam at the end. Henry Cavill put out a video. He said himself, I'm back, and that's just the teaser. There's a lot more coming. Dude signed a deal. He signed a deal. Man himself, Man of Steel's back. We also got a new CEO or CEOs, plural. James Gunn, Peter Safran? How am I saying that? Saffron? Saffron? Yeah, whatever. Listen, guy. He's the one that produced Aquaman, Shazam. He helped shepherd in the Conjuring universe. Great. Those films are dope. Kind of like any horror franchise, as they go on, things start to get a little crazier, a little bit more wacky, and people may or may not like that. But as films themselves, they are well-made films. Now, James Gunn, say what you will, he killed it with the Suicide Squad. He killed it with Peacemaker. Guardians of the Galaxy is killing it. He has this creative eye, right? Scooby-Doo. Iconic. So James Gunn has the creativity and he knows the comics, right? And then you got the producer side of things with Peter Safran. Two of them together, perfect team to run DC Studios. That's right, guys. DC Studios. No longer will the DC universe just be a subsection of Warner Brothers. It is now its own studios. Just like Marvel Studios. It's its own thing. They have more freedom. They're more independent underneath Warner Brothers, Discovery, whatever you want to call it. This, in the long run, will be good. They already announced Joker 2 won't be under that umbrella. It's going to stay under Warner Brothers. Same thing goes for the Batman, which is weird. Even though it's not the same universe or the world, it's still a DC movie, so I still think it should be under DC Studios. So that's a little, semanticy? Is that even a word? There's still some semantics behind it. It's a DC project. Put it under DC Studios. Come on. We know what's not in the DC universe. It's no longer the DC EU anymore. It never was the DC Extended Universe. A reporter titled that, and everybody just ran with it. Warner Brothers didn't deny that title, obviously. But now we have an official thing, man. It's DC Universe. Just like the game. It's pretty simple. Straight to the point. Are we going to get a new intro? Oh, is Ben Affleck going to come back? Is Deathstroke going to come back? Is Zack Snyder going to come back? Is everybody coming back? Listen, guys. If James Gunn is down, everybody will come back. But you know who won't come back under James Gunn's reign at DC? And I hate to say this because he's my guy, Jared Leto. I love Jared Leto's Joker, both iterations in Suicide Squad and in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I just think he's got that psychopath angle down, that creepiness down. Oh, why is he purring at people? Like, dude, he's the Joker. He's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. Now, whether or not you like Jared Leto's Joker or not, that's not really here what I'm trying to discuss. It's just James Gunn has gone. He's like thrown shots at Jared Leto on Twitter before about his taste in women. So, but then also James Gunn, he's not the cleanest guy in the world himself. As much so as Marvel Studios fired him a couple years ago for some tweets. Yeah. How do you think he was able to direct the Suicide Squad? It's because he got fired from Guardians 3 before they were even in production. So I just think like it's hilarious that James Gunn wants to troll Jared Leto in his taste in women when James Gunn himself is no saint. He's not a saint, guys. Now, hopefully, James Gunn will wear his professional hat and not try to blacklist Jared from the DC universe, especially if they're going to continue with Harley Quinn, with Margot Robbie's version of Harley Quinn. At some point, you will need to bring the Joker back just to round out their whole story, because we basically got the end of their relationship, but we never got the beginning, the middle. And, as far as the Joker and Harley relationship is concerned, they've kind of, not erased it, but they've subverted that with the Harley Quinn series on HBO Max. She's dating Ivy. Was dating Ivy. And Joker's moved on, he's got his new family, and he's a good person, blah, 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 blah. That's all fine and dandy, but let's go back to the roots. Can we? Where's Joker? How are you gonna have Henry come back? And then rumors Ben Affleck's coming back. We have that dope scene in Snyder's Justice League, Affleck and Jared. You're gonna let a boy wonder do a man's job? Like, dude, that whole scene, come on. I need a whole movie with that. Let's just do this. Come on, James. You may not like Jared. Bring him back. That might be a hot take. A lot of people don't like Jared Leto. He's a cult leader. He's got his island. And do you not know how a band works? What do you think a concert is? That's a cult meeting. Are you like a band? You know the band? Not the band. If you're a band member and you have fans, you're a cult member, Mike. You're a cult leader, dude. Ozzy Osbourne, Van Halen, dude, like, it's a cult. Bands are cults, dude. And you're going to a concert, they got their logo in the background, and everybody's, lighters, lights, worship and shit. It's church. So what, Jared, because he he has long hair and he looks like Jesus. So he's not allowed to have a cult, but everybody else is allowed to have a cult. Every other band member that wants to have a festival for their fans or a concert for their fans, they're allowed to do that, but Jared's not. Okay, there's some bias. What's going on? There's some bias out there. What is with that? Anyways, Jared. I don't think James Gunn's going to bring him back. I would like him to, because Joker and Harley, they are iconic for a reason. Treat them with respect. Boom. So what do I think of James Gunn taking over? I think it's going to be good creatively. Will he keep directing projects at the same time in the DC universe? I don't think he will. I think he's going to go full-blown CEO. I could be wrong. What do you guys think about all this? That's just a little segment within this DC conversation. As well, I saw Black Adam. Reviews have been out. People are talking shit about Soups. Oh, Soups liked Black Adam. Oh, well, 90% of the audience liked Black Adam too. So what? Because I don't even follow Soups, but I see people shitting on Soups in my For You page. I'm like, why are they hating on this guy? He likes Black Adam, and then he didn't like Black Panther 2. Oh my god, he doesn't fucking dick ride every project in the world. What? Oh, he's a DC shill. He only likes cameos. Listen, dude. Every movie is a different experience. It could be a terrible movie, and you can still have a fun time watching it. A lot of people said that about Black Adam. The movie felt like a '90s movie, an action movie. It wasn't that. It's not a great film, but I had a good time watching it. That's not my opinion, but there are people with that opinion. My review of Black Adam. The Rock himself, he's a good Black Adam, right? The fish out of water angle, they could have leaned into that a little more, and they should have kept the R rating. I'll say it. I think if this film had a little more balls, it would have been received better. But they had to cut this movie down 4 times in order to get a PG-13. So, yes, while there was some Zack Snyder-y shots in the movie, I had a fun time with it. But people are talking shit about this skateboarding kid, right? Well, I like skateboarding. So, if I was 8 years old and I was and this came out back in the day when I was playing Tony Hawk and shit, I probably would have loved this movie even more. And I didn't even. It was okay. I'm trying to get into this without spoiling it. Well, I've already really spoiled it. So whatever. Spoiler warning. Moving forward. So second act of the movie, right? They put Black Adam into the sleep coffin, right? And then he gets right back out of it. For the third act. I think that could have been skipped over. He's like, oh, okay, I guess I do gotta go back to sleep. I just think that part of the movie was like the only narrative aspect of the movie I had problems with. The visual effects were dope. Atom Smasher. Noah Centineo, is that his name? He's a great actor, and it wasn't his fault. But with the way they did his suit, they kind of just made him a knockoff Deadpool. Is that bad to say? It just felt like a knockoff Deadpool because he was trying to do this humor thing, trying to be funny, and they had the eyes, expressive eyes, and I kept thinking about Deadpool and like. It's like if Ant-Man and Deadpool were squished together, you get Atom Smasher. The chick that tornado, what's her name? I don't know her name like that. She was great. The visual aesthetic of her power was great. Her dynamic with Atom Smasher was good. But and the Dr. Fate, they killed off Dr. Fate. You get Pierce Brosnan in there for like a movie, but Dwayne Johnson says that we're gonna get more Dr. Fate. So like, stop fake killing people, dude. Just introduce your Justice Society and move on. I liked that aspect, and people were like, "It's a knockoff X-Men. They got the opening basketball court and the shit." It's like, dude, it's not. Let it be what it is, man. It was a good time. It was a good time. It was a little, compared to Shazam, I think I like the tone for Black Adam a lot more than Shazam. And there's some stuff in Shazam, like the history of Black Adam, that doesn't necessarily line up with the Black Adam origin that we got in the movie. As far as releasing the 7 deadly sins, they didn't touch on that at all. So that was a little weird. Come on, writers. This is where James Gunn needs to come in. Every writer that is writing a DC Studios DC Universe project, they need a writers meeting like once a week so they don't write over each other's stuff. Every writer, and I'm sure they do this. If they don't do this, then why don't they do this? They need to have a weekly meeting so they don't overlap each other and retcon each other out. This is all the same universe. They need to start taking this shit seriously. Well, each director wants their own separate thing. That's fine, dude. So go be like Matt Reeves. Go be like Todd Phillips. Don't do it here in the main universe. If you are a main universe movie, you need to be in that writers' meeting. Period. Moving on. So yeah, not much to say about Black Adam. It's been out for a while. I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's top 10 DC movie for me, but I'll give it a B. B minus? Yeah, a B minus. A B minus. If they handled things narratively better, I'll probably give it a B plus. And if it was a R-rated movie and they took things up a notch, it would have gotten an A for me. So that's where Black Adam sets. Boom. What did you guys think of Black Adam? Did you like the skateboarder? Did you like the kid actor? Was he distracting? Wasn't distracting to me. Maybe that's because I had an edible before I saw the movie. I don't know. Let me know in the comments section, guys. Yes. Going to the movies lit. Only way to do it. Microdose, 10 milligrams. About 30 minutes before you go to the movie theater. By the time you get your icy, and by the time you get your popcorn, and you sit down, and you watch the Nicole Kidman. By the time you watch the Nicole Kidman ad, that edible is going to be smacking you in the face in the opening scenes. Boom. That was the DC Corner for this week. Coming up next, some horror stuff. I feel like I need to switch things up a little bit. I'm going to shift gears, Tokyo Drift style. Not too hard. Terrifier 2. I saw Terrifier 2. Oh, okay. I will give this movie its props. I'm not going to rip right into this movie because I legit hated the first Terrifier. I hated it because of the potential of the character. And I was just like disappointed. I'm like, how are you going to have this dope of a character in such an underwritten, fucking fan filmish looking movie, right? Then I saw Terrifier 2, and I get it. They want to lean into this splatter, gore genre, like the 80s throwback, which is cool. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. I don't like a lot of gore in my horror movies. Now, if there's some, that's cool. If there's some horror, if there's some gore, okay. Hostel, for example. That was borderline for me. I'm like, okay, you've seen the horror iceberg. I'm kind of all over the place right now. I don't really like going below wherever Hostel is. That's kind of where I'm at with horror movies. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. I like a little less is more. The scariest things cannot be on camera, and you can still be scared. The tension, the atmosphere, like what does Dave McRae say? The mood, the atmosphere, the ambiance. A film school. Words. Listen, you can scare people and not have a lot of gore. So while people are praising this movie for the gore, it is very gory. I didn't throw up and I didn't faint because I am prone to fainting. I tried watching Fresh. Well, I did watch Fresh. And I almost fainted. I know I didn't really eat anything before I watched it, but when it comes to cannibalism and slowly eating a spaghetti that's supposed to be human, that's where it's mental. It's a mental thing. I didn't even need to see. You don't have to show me a bunch of stuff to make me faint or to make me get sick. So while I do appreciate the practical effects of Terrifier 2, and they were showing the unrated cut, I would like to see a pared down version just to see if it plays better, because it was over 2 hours, man. That's a long time. For a movie like this, could have been like an hour 45. A good hour 45. I appreciate them trying to inject a story into this film. Thank you. It's hard to go from scene to scene of just watching people get killed with no real story. Because at what point is you're just trying to watch some snuff film or something, right? So, but as far as Art the Clown, he's saying, people are saying, he's the new horror icon. Well, it's looking like that. We haven't had something like this in a really long time. which is why it's interesting, because I'm always saying, don't hold back, make the film you want to make. Don't hold back for the general audience. As far as the comic book movies, like, oh well, we have to water it down so the general audience will watch it and they'll understand it. They don't give a fuck about the general audience with Terrifier 2. And I kind of respect that. Because they made this movie off of $200,000, and in 3 weeks they made $5 million, and then they've extended it into 1,500 theaters through Halloween. Dude, this might be the most successful low-budget horror movie to ever be made. I can't even talk right now. I might be incorrect with that, but that's how it's looking. Am I wrong? This movie cost $200,000 to make. $5 million. Imagine what Terrifier 3 will look like. And you got Daniel Harris and Scott Compton wanting to be in Terrifier 3. I don't know if they've seen Terrifier or Terrifier 2. I'm going to be honest. I know they do horror movies, but I don't know if at this point in their lives, I don't know if they want to be brutalized like that on camera. So, horror fans, lower your expectations on the chances of Daniel Harris and Scott Compton coming back or coming to Terrifier 3. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. Well, I will be shocked to see if they do. Because yes, women be getting brutalized in this film. He doesn't hold back. He pulls out the blick in the first one. Dude, that shit, so many people are commenting about that. As soon as he pulled out, how are you going to outrun a clown with a fucking gun? You can't. You can't, dude. So yes, let's get back to this review though. As far as the whole sadistic nature of art, fine. They need to get better cameras or work on the color grade of these movies, because they still look like a soap opera. It looks like Days of Our Lives, but then he starts fucking brutalizing people. So it's kind of like, it kind of almost helps it make it feel real. But then they also have the opening title sequence, and the score is super 80s, like a throwback to the 80s, right? I feel like if they made the color grade, made it like, put some grain to the film, shoot it in 16 millimeter like Rob Zombie did for Halloween 2. Make it look like it was shot in the 80s. If you want to have that vibe, go all in. But when you have like modern looking soap opera cameras with an 80s score, there's something about it. It's kind of, it's leaning one way and then it's leaning the other way. It's a little disjointed. I had fun with it though. I just like watching Art perform. He's very expressive. He's almost like a Nightmare on Elm Street, like a Freddy Krueger, if he was silent. I think Art and Freddy would get along. That would be the team. That would be the next collab I would like to see. But obviously Robert Englund is very old. I'm not saying that's bad, but he doesn't want to be like return as Freddy. But I do think like he puts Pennywise to shame. But we also don't see a lot of Pennywise, his brutality. We don't see a lot of it. It happens off camera. So that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't give a fuck about the general audience, and I respect them for that. Low budget horror, man. My problem is make it look even worse. Make it look like an 80s movie. Put some color grade on that shit. And shorten up the movie a little bit. 2 hours. A little under 2 hours, hour 45. And then, listen, you guys got me on board now. I didn't like the first Terrifier. I liked All Hallows Eve. They shot that on like some HD camcorder type shit. And they had art coming through the TV and shit, like The Ring. They had a creative element to that story. Oh, the videotapes in the Halloween candy bag, oh, we gotta watch the movie, and then now you're opening up that doorway so art can come and kill your ass. That was a creative angle. So I would go All Hallows Eve, Terrifier 2, and then Terrifier. That's my rank. What did you guys think about Terrifier 2? Do you think Terrifier 3 should appeal to the more general audience next time around? Make an R-rated movie. Not necessarily cut out the gore, but shoot it more strategically. What do you guys think? Should they just keep doing what they're doing? Am I the only one that has a problem with it looking like a soap opera? Do you guys like that vibe? I don't know. I just think that with an 80s score and your title sequence, like imagine you had that on VHS and it looked that crystal clean. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know. It's just me. That's just me. I'm weird like that. Shoot it with a 16mm. Let's go. Terrifier 2. What did you guys think? In other news with horror, let's go. VHS 99. We have a bunch of these kind of anthology series now. Creepshow's back. American Horror Story. Fucking Twilight Zone was back for a little while. These anthologies series have been really prominent now as far as horror is concerned. VHS 99 continues that trend. This time, it's in the late 90s. They're leaning into that Nickelodeon type vibe, that pop punk rock, skate rock type shit, with the punk rockers, you know. What is it? And then they did lean, unlike Terrifier 2, VHS 99 does lean into the 90s aesthetic. They made it look like it was filmed in the 90s. Same goes for 94. If it's in, and I assume the next one, 85, it's gonna really look like it's in the 80s. Like a lot of grain. I'm expecting it to look very dirty. So as far as the aesthetic goes, VHS 99 kills it. The punk rock vibes were there. Very appreciative of bringing some light back into the skate punk era. Pop punk for life. It is not as scary as the other VHS movies. The longer... 94 came close. But VHS 1 and 2 are the scariest. Viral is... it's kind of not really that scary. And then, what was it? 94 was pretty good. It was kind of... It didn't have that realistic nature like the other, like with the Asian guy in the cult with the demon. Was it VHS 2? They haven't topped that whole sequence yet, and we're a few movies into this franchise, but that's not saying it's a bad movie. You can have, I believe you can make a VHS movie and it doesn't have to be super scary to be good. Like Creepshow isn't scary, but it's still good because there's some horror elements. Your effects are on point. Your stories are on point. I wasn't bored at all with this. There was some gore, not a lot. I just had a good time with it. I don't have too many complaints about VHS franchise. It's like, I'm not like a diehard VHS fan or anything. But every time one comes out, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, let's do this. I'm not like saying it's the best of the horror anthologies, but if you're definitely a horror fan, you should check this out for sure. I also give this a B+. What did you guys think about VHS 99? Comment below in the comment section. Do you think they are slowly downgrading? Is it not as scary? Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's chat it up. And to end this show, I haven't talked about Star Wars in a minute. I've been watching Andor. Kind of losing me. I will review Andor when it's finished. What I will be reviewing today, Tales of the Jedi. Dude, nobody is talking about this show. It was like 8 episodes, 6 episodes, I can't remember. They're like 15 minutes each. They're straight to the point. There's no filler. The animation is stunning. Who would have thought the Clone Wars animation was just going to keep getting better and better and better? Super clean. Super clean. It's imperative now. If you watch the prequels, you absolutely need to watch Tales of the Jedi. You don't have to watch the Clone Wars if you don't want to, but there's no excuse to not watch Tales of the Jedi. Short episodes, there's no filler. The music scores, Kevin Kiner, is that his name? Dude is killing it with the Star Wars music. On point. On point. The stories they choose to tell with Ahsoka as an infant, toddler, her starting to train with the clones, the dynamic with Anakin, the fucking Count Dooku's origin, Qui-Gon's origin, the fall of Dooku, seeing Dooku's reaction to Qui-Gon's death. Like, we see Phantom Menace era from a different perspective. You have to watch this show to appreciate the full story of Star Wars. You have to. And I'm not one to gatekeep here, but if you're not a fan of Star Wars like that, then that's cool. That's fine. But don't go out into the world like you are. Study up, son. Do some work. But listen, not everybody's a Star Wars fan like that. You can pick and choose what you want. I'm just saying, if you have some time and you want to watch some Star Wars, Tales of the Jedi is the move. It's the move. I want another season. And you know what I want? Since it is kind of like anthology, I want Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker animation. Just like they're doing with this, I want to see Luke going off doing missions as a Jedi, but with animation. Post Return of the Jedi, you can even do it like in between Empire and Jedi, or in between A New Hope and Empire if you want, because they're short anthology stories. You can have one episode that's in between A New Hope and Empire, then you can have another episode that's between Empire and Jedi, and then you can have another episode that's after Return of the Jedi, and there's like 3 separate stories with Luke Skywalker in his prime doing Jedi shit. Listen, people like the Jedi. They like the Sith. They like lightsabers. They like the Force. It's very symbolic to a lot of people. They need to lean into that. Andor's cool. We're seeing the nature of the Empire from the inside, how it affects daily, day-to-day people. That's fine. Star Wars can be all that stuff. But there's a huge factions of fans that are missing the lightsaber stuff. They're missing the Jedi, the Sith. I love TIE fighters. I don't like the Star Wars nature of Star Wars, if you want to say that. The ships, and people love fucking Rogue Squadron and that game. I don't like that kind of shit. Give me a lightsaber. It's like I don't need Top Gun in space. I don't need that. That's not why I watch Star Wars. The Battle of Hoth, long as shit. You could have chopped out half of that. Am I wrong? No. Am I right? To me, I am. That's all that matters, right? No, but like you get my drift, right? People like certain things in Star Wars, and they're allowed to do that. We don't have to like everything. We don't have to hate everything. Let people enjoy what they want. Tales of the Jedi. I just pitched you guys a dope-ass season 2 with Luke Skywalker. Get to it, Lucasfilm. They gotta be doing something. I know I'm not the only one that pitched this. Somebody at Lucasfilm had to have pitched a younger Luke Skywalker animated story. Have Mark Hamill come back and do the voice as Luke. Dude is a voice actor now. What the fuck? Why isn't this greenlit? And why aren't they already in production? What is going on? I'll wait. What's happening? Give us an animated Clone Wars version of Knights of the Old Republic. The Old Republic show. Give us an Old Republic show, like the Clone Wars, set back then. Build some groundwork out, and then give us a live-action movie. A trilogy or something. They're scared to announce trilogies, right? So what, okay. Tales of the Jedi, what did you guys think about it? Have you watched it? Let me know in the comments section. I know I said I was going to talk about that to close out the show, but that they just reminded me something about Disney and the trilogies and Kathleen Kennedy. She's in trouble, dude. Disney, Bob Chapek? Yes. I was going to say Bob Paycheck. John Campion calls him Bob Paycheck. Homeboy told Kathleen, listen, don't be announcing movies anymore unless you got the cameras ready to roll. Because everything you've announced these last 4 years hasn't happened yet. Rian Johnson trilogy, Kevin Feige's movie, Benioff and Weiss, Game of Thrones dudes. Where's their movies? 3. Where's Taika's movie? 4. Where's Patty Jenkins' movie? 5. It's 5 movies, 5 projects that Kathleen Kennedy has announced. They haven't happened yet. They don't exist. So yeah, they're saying, hey, listen, stop it. They need to do something. They need to do something because they know they're in some shit, or they wouldn't have told her that. They're starting to notice the tides are shifting, guys. Oh, put Dave Filoni in charge. Make him the new Kathleen Kennedy. I'm not saying we need to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. She's a great producer, right? She has her IMDb is very vast. I strongly believe if you do a team up, kind of like this James Gunn, Peter Safran type thing, promote Dave Filoni, but put him with Kathleen. Have Kathleen be the like numbers, production side of things, but let Dave be the creative. He should be involved in every show. Story groups all need to come together. That's a whole nother, same thing with the DC writers, right? Everybody wants a shared universe, but nobody wants to fucking collab with each other. All these writers, dude, they think they're so much better than the other writers. Oh, well, I don't know anything about Star Wars. I'll just write my script, and then I'll text Pablo Hidalgo something. Hey, is this allowed? No. Hire some writers that know what the fuck they are writing about. There are so many writers in the world that love Star Wars. Yet they want to pull from this group of people that don't necessarily give a fuck about Star Wars. Oh, well, he's so-and-so's. They're related to so-and-so, and oh, they worked over here, so it's easier to pull them. No, dude, do they know the material? It's like, it's counterproductive. It's counterintuitive to what they're trying to do over there. They want a shared universe. The comic books, the novels, the TV shows, they all counteract each other. Cassian Andor's story in the books and Poe Dameron's story in the books is different than in the movies and in the shows. Black Chrysanthemum and Boba Fett. He doesn't know who Boba Fett is in the Boba Fett show. Boba Fett doesn't know Black Chrysanthemum in the Boba Fett show. In the comics, they went on a fucking mission together. They met each other. So, but they don't know. Dave Filoni himself says, listen, whenever we are doing shows or movies, we aren't listening to the comics or the novels. If we want to pull from that, we will. But as far as I'm concerned, being Dave Filoni, I don't give a fuck about the novels. I don't give a fuck about the comic books. If it doesn't benefit our story, I will change it. So when all this stuff is supposed to be canon, take it with a grain of salt, guys. And before you invest a lot of money, before you invest a lot of time into reading these books, these comics, or these novels, go to Star Wars Theory's YouTube channel and watch his recap videos, his summaries of the comic books. Don't spend money on these comics or novels, because when it comes down to it, they may not be canon when it comes to it, which is fine. Doesn't negate the story. The stories might be cool, but it's just like the what do they call it now? Not extended universe. The EU extended universe. The old books. I literally have a legend. That's what they call it, legends. I have legend material, dude. Stories are stories, but when Disney themselves is saying, from now on, in 2012 when they bought Star Wars, from now on, all the books, all the novels, all the comics, all the TV series, all the movies, they're all connected, they all count. But yet, you won't bring all your writers into a writer's room, right? How many fucking writers? Alright, we need a list. Who's writing the novels? Who's writing the comic books? Who's writing the TV shows? Who's writing the movies? Once a week, they all need to be in the room. They need to get up on the podium saying, here's our story, this is what we're doing in this timeline, here's the characters. Everybody needs to do that on a whiteboard. Timeline wise. Every writer needs to put what their current project is. And then that's when Dave Filoni is involved. Start Xing shit out, writing shit in to fill in, okay, this can happen. This character is over here, so that works. They need to be more concise. They need to do this. They are all on the same team, but they are retconning each other. It's the same shit with DC. And what the fuck? Get a writer's room together. And if they do have a writer's room, they're being terrible about it. Or else we wouldn't be having this conversation. It's frustrating. There's no cohesion anymore. It's starting to break apart. Anyway, it's whatever. I rest my case. Am I wrong? Should they not be meeting up at least once a week? That's being generous. Once a week? That's being generous. Just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Oh, we're hiring so-and-so for this novel about fucking Kylo Ren. Okay. They should probably meet up with the writers that wrote Force Awakens to see what the fuck is up about Kylo Ren. Duh. Get it together, Lucasfilm. You've been listening, watching episode 19 of Gettin Geeked with your boy, Danny Allen. There's another one in the books, guys. Go fuck yourselves.
Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked with Danny Allen. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked with Danny Allen.